budget can consume 2,700 liters of water. Now, who would have thought that? But things like these make you stand up and take notice of what is happening around you, which looks very innocuous to start with.
It's an area where investors can actually look to indigenous older heritages. I do think there's a lot of knowledge there. One example is Boheco in India, an organization I've got to know who works with farmers in rural India. But they've discovered that hemp is a crop that takes way less water than cotton. It is indigenous to that region, originally from the Himalayas, but it's very sturdy and resilient, and so environmentally friendly and sustainable as well. But then they built a whole ecosystem to enable farmers to grow more hemp, which includes having equity financing, ownership. And I do think that as investors, it's very important to understand that equity ownership at every level in the supply chain is critical. Not just people paid wages, but equity and ownership brings a whole different level of agency, but also better products for everyone. Equity in the entire supply chain. And you touched already on transparency deeply, so I will stop in the spirit of would love to hear everyone's perspectives here.
Education, grassroots training, and bringing these people into the ecosystem. And I guess my question is that if you look at where this is required, the sort of indigenous people, the farmers, the artisans, they are primarily in emerging economies like India, Bangladesh, Argentina, Bolivia. And these are the countries that the governments don't have the resources to invest in educational programs, in technology to bring these people into the ecosystem. So where do we think the money is going to come from? Who's going to invest? What is going to be the model? Is it going to be this Amul model that Radhika talked about, that you bring everyone into the fold and they become stakeholders, or are investors like Radhika and Sumit are going to invest? If they're going to invest, what will be the return? So a little bit of a discussion from the participants on that.
Organizations like HxN Nosotros or other grassroots organizations who are kind of helping these small medium enterprises scale up their tools, scale up their education. They have been helping much more rather than
shapes and kind of the opportunity and the de-risking environment. So that is at least my belief. And the entrepreneurial spirit is there in every human being and in different forms and shapes.
Systems which can improve the transparency and the ecosystem of those artisans.
Underutilized, under-engaged by us in civil society. So that is an area where we could do a lot to connect and kind of the glue that binds us all. And whether for funding it be the joint SDG fund, there's UNDP on development. And I know often people feel the UN is big and large, but it is going through a change and becoming way more accessible. So that, I think, finding the relevant agencies and working with them. I know your organization already does that, but in general, I think that is an under-leveraged resource.